Starlight. We got some work to do. Like, what day of the week is it? How should I know? Well, you went to sleep, and now you're awake, so I guess it's tomorrow. Except that the fact that you're in it now would make it today. And it's not my tomorrow because I didn't sleep when you did. So as long as we're following that broken logic, I'm still in your yesterday, while your tomorrow has become your today. Today, tomorrow, yesterday. What's the difference down here? That was rhetorical, but as a little treat, I'll give you the answer. There isn't a difference. Nothing in this trap demonstrates the passage of time. No sun, no moon, just smoke and ash and screams. The delineation of days is whatever you make it, if you feel the need to have it at all. Comforting, right? Oh, well, thank you. I do aim to please. Now, on to the reason I came to interrupt your ultimately unnecessary dalliance with unconsciousness. Today, whatever that means, is the day where we actually make some progress. Hopefully. In theory. See, we need to get you in contact with one of the voids in this place so that you can get a feel for the meridian, which, up till now, you've so deftly slipped through. It's time you felt the threads of the weave instead of just sliding between them. Should prove to be a unique experience, which means we have to go for a little walk. Don't worry, there's nothing dangerous up on this circle. That fun doesn't start until you get a little lower down. Come on, we can walk and talk. Charming place, I know. We don't have to walk far, just stay close. Ever the astute listener. Yes, I know the dangers of the lower circles firsthand. And yes, that's also how I know it's impossible to die here. I mentioned briefly in the past that this little mock hell isn't exactly a perfect representation of Dante's version. Limbo's missing. Gluttony is higher than lust. Those voids are all over the place. Areas where the illusion was never actually completed. I mean, half of the seventh circle is just a giant fire, which certainly doesn't help with the air quality out here, as I'm sure your lungs can tell. It's imperfect. But if the intent was to make me miserable, I suppose it fits the bill. That religious nutjob apparently thought there was a wonderful irony in turning what he saw as my home against me. He was a moron. Aria is a place of beauty, wonder, beyond any human comprehension. It's nothing like this grounded, earthly torment. Which, in its own way, makes the trap that much more effective. So maybe I've underestimated him a bit. Maybe he did know what he was doing. Regardless, that's hardly the point. His intentions are irrelevant. All I care about is his impact, which I would like to end quickly. It's in here. Come on. Much better. Sad when I can say that about something as bleak as this room, but There you go. Comparison has a wonderful way of lowering our expectations. Really? You like words so much? Well, how about this one? Contumacious. Or do you prefer intransigent? Or just stubborn? You're like a dog with a damn bone. Do me a favor, going forward, if you're so hell-bent, appropriate wording, if you're so hell-bent on fixating on some otherwise inconsequential sentence that spouts out of my mouth during one of my many rants, at least call it out at the time so I don't have to keep circling back. At this point, I'd rather be interrupted than in a constant state of circling back to remember what I just said. What do you say? Good. I am aware that I danced around the topic of the actual harm I experienced. Believe it or not, it's not exactly a topic I like reflecting on. Did that thought ever cross your mile-a-minute brain? That I could have perfectly valid reasons for not wanting to remember or discuss the fact that I experienced a painful death in every sense except the actual merciful act of dying? Didn't think so. I fell, Starlight, from the 4th circle all the way down to the 6th. I was pushed, actually. I was damn near unconscious, and so I wasn't exactly in a clear headspace to protect myself from the sudden stop as my body became intimately acquainted with the ground. And let me tell you, the impact was not pleasant. Have you ever broken a bone? How about all of them in one horrible moment? That is why I told you to be careful. Now, is it too much to ask of your inquisitive nature that we don't discuss those circumstances in more detail? It would be much appreciated. Thank you. We're here. Welcome to the void. One of them, anyway. It's like I said, darker than black. Nothingness. What? No, I'm fine. As you might imagine, many of my memories here are not particularly pleasant. The darkness of it is bringing back some memories, but it's nothing I can't handle. If I look unsettled, it's because I am. It would be stupid to pretend I'm not. But that doesn't mean I can't do what needs done. Hence, I'm fine, not ecstatic. I have to imagine this is going to take some time. One touch to the meridian is not going to solve anything. But it will give you context. Context that we can then explore to figure out a way out of here. So, you need to reach in there. Your arm isn't just going to disappear. Watch, I'll do it first. See? It feels different, but not bad. And all fingers are accounted for as you can see. Nothing is gone. Well, I already have the context. I feel the meridian every time I rift. But that's me phasing through it like it's not even there. And that can't help us now. My ability to phase through it, to rift, is being blocked. So we need to make an opening. And I can't do that. That's not how magic works for a demon. But that is how it works for you. Which is why you need to touch it. Like I said. Feel what it's like. How it reacts to you. Look, I understand your hesitation. I don't blame you for it, it's smart. You have no reason to trust me yet. Why would you? But what I will say, for whatever it's worth, is that I have no intention of letting any kind of harm come to you. If you want to look at that statement cynically, you can assume it's because I need you in working condition to get us out of here. But if you want to look at it with a bit more of an open mind, maybe one a little less jaded than my own often is, it's also possible that I just wouldn't want harm to come to an innocent person. Especially one who, while they may be incredibly stubborn, also seems to have a good heart and a willingness to help a stranger, and an attitude towards that stranger's kind that isn't as dismissive as he's used to. But I leave the choice of which justification to believe to you. If it would help, I'll reach in with you. May I take your hand? Thank you. Okay. Then here we go. Different, isn't it? To my knowledge, which in this case is admittedly quite limited, you're the first human to ever physically touch the meridian. Of course you'd fixate on that part of the sentence. Elbow deep in the meridian and you still have your priorities. Yes, my knowledge in that department is quite limited, and I'm not going to arrogantly pretend otherwise. That would just be stupid. If you talk about something you know nothing about and act like you do, as soon as you're found out, people will doubt the things that you say that you actually do know plenty about. I have no desire or intention to undercut myself in that way. If you know something, say it. If you don't, shut up. It's an easy thing to live by. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Shall we? And there we go. How did that feel? High praise. Nice to know I can still show someone a good time. Well, now that you have a bit of a feel for what we're working with, I think we can start testing some things. Widening that gap you create when you reach for your powers, changing the intent of your relation with the meridian. Well, yes, I plan to help. I don't need to know exactly how your magic works to understand how I can help you. The fact is, it's not really possible for me to know exactly how your magic feels. No, I can't bridge with you. I know that can help you humans get an understanding of each other, but demons and humans, our relationship to magic is too different. We're different in a lot of ways, actually. Well, the big one in a lot of people's eyes, anyway, is that our two races can't procreate. Not of particular concern to me, considering the prevailing act associated with such an attempt is very much still possible, even if that particular outcome isn't. And it's not an outcome I have any interest in anyway. But that biological truth also disproves a once popular theory that so-called coital joinings between our two races resulted in the creation of empowered humans. Not that that theory lasted too long anyway. I mean, God forbid your high council might have to admit that you owed your powers to someone. I mean, a question to the magical autonomy of the empowered races. Perish the thought. We won't mention the fact that wherever humanity got its powers from, they do still rely completely on Arya in order to actually use those magical powers. So in and of itself, the very concept of human magical autonomy is a farce. But I suppose a statement like that wouldn't win me many friends on the council, which is probably why our kinds have such a complicated relationship. Demons make no illusions about the fact that we need humanity to survive. It would just be nice if humanity, in return, would admit that they need us, specifically our home, in order to maintain their empowered status, instead of treating us like some kind of scourge. But this is a conversation that's already been had and will be had many times by people far more important than either you or I. So, in the meantime, let's figure out how to tear a hole in some shit instead. Thought you might like that.